Hi everybody, welcome to this video. This is module 24 for business math and calculators. And in this module, we're going to talk about some applications of percents. In particular, we're going to talk about calculating sales tax, excise tax, tips, and interest. So I'm going to go through several example problems of each of these situations just to kind of show how to calculate the various values. So with that, I will share my screen. We'll jump into the example problems and we'll go from there. Alrighty, let's go ahead and jump into our first problem. So for this first one, we are going to calculate sales tax. All right, so in our situation, it says Kim and Tammy went out for supper. The bill for the meal was $45. If the sales tax rate was 7%, how much tax is added to the bill, and then what is the total amount of the bill? All right, to calculate sales tax, it's fairly simple. It's actually an of-is kind of problem. And what you're going to do is you are going to take the tax rate, the 7%, and you're going to multiply it by the total amount, in this case, for the meal. Again, remember that when you're dealing with percents, in order to do math with the percent, you need to make sure you convert it to another form. And again, the easiest form usually is to convert the percent into a decimal. So that's where the 0.07 comes from. But we're simply going to multiply then that rate times the $45 that the meal cost, and that should tell us how much tax. So 0.07 times 45 gets us $3.15. So the total bill then is found by taking the original amount plus the tax that's added on. So we get $48.15. All right, so again, to calculate tax, it's just a matter of doing a quick multiplication, taking the percent written as a decimal times the total amount, and that will tell you the tax added on to the total amount then to get the final bill in this case. So the tax was $3.15, the total amount was $48.15. So pretty straightforward when you're calculating sales tax. Just make sure you're careful when working with the percents. And just make sure as well that when you're solving a word problem like this, that you carefully answer the question. Make sure you include all values that are being asked for in the problem. All right, now we're going to switch and talk about calculating a tip, which is very similar in terms of the process. So we're going to use the same context. So we've got Kim and Tammy again who went out for supper. We know from the previous problem that the total bill was $48.15. And so Kim wants to leave a 20% tip for the server. So we want to figure out how much she should leave. So like sales tax, we're going to calculate the tip in much the same way. We're going to take the 20% written as a decimal times the total amount. And that will tell us how much of a tip we should leave. So again, 20% written as a decimal is 0.20. Take that times the $48.15. And we come up with a solution where the tip should be $9.63. And there you go. That's all we need to do. Multiply the decimal version of the original rate, the percentage, times the total, and you're good to go. All right, so let's switch to a different situation. This time, let's talk about an excise tax. And basically what an excise tax is it is a tax on what they refer to as luxury items. So things like jewelry, things like, really expensive cars, things that are luxury, I guess, for lack of a better word. So in this case, Neil is buying an engagement ring. And so the excise tax rate on that purchase is 8.5%. And the original price of the ring was $1,200. So we want to figure out what the total cost is for the ring. So just like what we did in the previous examples, we're going to take the percent times the amount to figure out what the tax is that's going to be added on. So be careful when you convert percents into decimal numbers. We always move the decimal point exactly 2 spaces. So 8.5% is 0.085 times the 1,200. When we multiply those together, we get a tax of $102. So that's the tax portion of it. Then the question wants to know what's the total cost. So we want to go ahead and take the price of the ring plus the tax to get the total. So 1,200 plus 102 is 1,302 or $1,302. And so that's the amount that Neil will pay when all said and done to purchase the engagement ring. All right, finally, we're going to do an example that just involves a really basic interest problem. We'll actually be talking more in detail about interest in upcoming videos and modules for this course. So this is just giving you just another context where you might use this process of multiplying the percent times the total amount. So in this situation, Charlie borrowed $500 from his brother. Again, as a way to thank him, Charlie repaid the loan in full, but added 15% in interest. So we want to figure out how much Charlie paid back altogether. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the percent times the amount, in this case, that was borrowed. Make sure you convert the percent into a decimal, so 0.15 times the $500. That'll tell us how much interest he's adding on. So 15% or 0.15 times 500 is 75. So he's basically giving his brother back the $500 plus an additional $75 as the thank you. So we add those up to get the total. So $575 is what we come up with, and that is our final answer. So the interest was $75. Adding that on to the original amount gives us the total amount that Charlie paid back. All right, so there you go. Those were 4 examples where percents are oftentimes used in real life situations. Not only were the percents used, but we also used kind of the of-is format where we're multiplying a percent times some amount to figure out a total or a situation, I guess. In this case, we talked about sales tax, we talked about tips, excise taxes, and then some basic interest kinds of situations. So lots of different contexts where you will use percentages, where you will use the of-is format to do the calculations. So hopefully these quick examples were helpful and give you some insight into how to go about solving the problems. The key is getting them set up. Once they're set up, the math is fairly straightforward. A lot of times it's just a basic multiplication, but getting the numbers in the right spot and getting the right values that you're multiplying together can be a little bit of a trick sometimes, so make sure that you are careful. As always, let me know if you need anything. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help you out. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next video.